Good morning, Sail. Good morning to you. Good morning. Oh, hello, Rennie. How are you? You were on rare form this morning. I enjoyed every minute of having coffee with you. I found a little spot. Hello, Angie. So, for some reason, it's hot and $4 day in my kitchen right now. I'm having a terrible time, it seems, getting my guy to sit straight, my little tripod to sit straight this morning. So, here we go. Technical difficulties. Oh, good. So, I got up this morning. Actually, let me rephrase that. Yesterday afternoon, when I finally got home from the grocery store and was digging out through the fridge, I realized that I had purchased a container of black cherry juice, thinking I'd make cocktails with it, and I didn't like it. It was not delicious. It wasn't sweet. So yesterday I added about 4 tablespoons of sugar to this quart of cherry juice and cooked it down. Then I got up this morning and took 16 ounces of balsamic vinegar and put about 4 tablespoons of sugar in it, and I cooked it down. Because, you may be asking, why would you do that? Because when I made the balsamic fig last week, the things I don't tell you about that go on behind the scenes, is that when I got my big bottle of balsamic out and went to dump it in the pan, I realized that there was like chunks in it. So my friend Jamie and I looked it up, and we discovered that this is something that could be air reduction, all kinds of things, but it didn't seem to be a problem physically, just that maybe like with a bottle of wine that's been opened or whose cork has dried out, it's going to be just not as vivid or as bright. Well, it wasn't as vivid or as bright, so I've tossed it out. So there's no reason to keep something that isn't delicious. We have now fresh balsamic vinegar, and since I had the cherry juice, instead of wasting a big another batch of figs, I decided to use this. So here's what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do is probably put this into something that, hello boo, that has a spout. Okay, can I do this? Sorry, pardon me. There we go. That's going to make things easier. Hello Peggy, hello Denise, hello Lisa, hello everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take my cherry juice that I've cooked down. See how it's nice and slow moving, so it's very syrupy. I'm not going to worry about getting every drop out of it because I'm not going to use all of it. So the first thing I'm going to do, what do I have here? I have just shy a cup. So I'm going to pour, that'll be a little bit, about half of this bottle probably. Let's see here. And I'm going to save this last little bit and what's in the bowl. And then I'm going to come over here and just take my balsamic, which is also, and if you're going to do this, guys, there's 2 things I'm going to say. When you cook down vinegar, first of all, make sure that your house is well ventilated. As you see, I do not have a hood, so I have got the window open. I've got the bathroom air return on. I've got the front door propped open with like a roll from gift wrap. So it's kind of like if you've ever worked in a winery during fermentation, and you go in to do punch down, and they're always like, be careful, don't breathe all that carbon dioxide, and you start to get a little sick and a little lightheaded. That's exactly how I feel when I cook vinegar down. So be careful if that's something that's going to impact you. And boy, I cooked this down. This is syrupy. So let's get all of it out. All out. There we go. It wasn't a very expensive bottle of balsamic vinegar. I just got it from our friends at Trader Joe's. Oh my gosh, this is almost candy. I almost overcooked my sugar. So I'm hoping that when it gets down in with the cherry, I can get it to mix back up. It really turns this to candy. Who knew? Balsamic vinegar candy. What can I do with the dregs in the bowls? Anyway, here this comes. Okay. This will kill me, I'm sure. Eat holes in my mouth. Oh, yeah, you guys, that's great. Delicious. So now I have what I like to put on, like my, what am I trying to say? When I have sun-dried tomatoes and basil and mozzarella, my take on caprese salad, that is this will now get drizzled onto there all summer long. Maybe not all summer long. It depends on how much I eat. So now I've saved my cap, and I'm going to pop that back in there. I'm going to give this a super good shake. Oh, it's nice and thick. That's what I want. And the worst thing that could happen is I might have to thin this out a little bit. I might have to pour a little hot water in this at some point, and like almost boiling water, and just kind of thin it out. But looky-loo, there I've got. Let's see if it's tasty. Oh, it's nice. Perfect. Oh, you guys, that's going to be fantastic. So I'm just going to set that aside, and we'll move on to the next thing I'm going to do today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in this candied balsamic vinegar I've got going here, so I don't have a terrible, terrible cleanup mess the rest of the day. Pardon me. I really did cook the heck out of that, didn't I? Who knew? I guess I forgot that I had so much less vinegar than I had cherry juice yesterday. And let's get my little drops cleaned up here. Yeah, see, they're like candy. That's going to be great. Oh my goodness, they're like candy. I may need a knife to scrape that off. I do. Yeah, that last little bit that stuck to the bottom was really, 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 I probably should have taken it off the hot grate instead of just letting it sit there the last few minutes while I was waiting for you guys, for you guys. So anyway, now the next thing I'm going to do is, I realized yesterday when I went to the store, I couldn't remember the last time I'd eaten any meat. So it's been probably close to 2 weeks, except Big Daddy did send me chicken sog the other night, and that was delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cherry juice, because I think that cherry and pork are really great combinations. And I'm just going to kind of put this down in here and get the rest of this out. The rest of that cherry reduction out of here. And this was, I used 100% real juice, right? I did not juice cherries. This was a bottle of Knudsen Farms black cherry juice I bought a couple of weeks ago, thinking it would make delicious cocktails. It did not make delicious cocktails. It simply was too tart, and even mixing with a lot of sugar the flavors never blossomed. So I cooked it down with just a little sugar, and now I'm going to take this little Trader Joe's pork tenderloin. I know that there are people who are not crazy about Trader Joe's meats, but I was not going to stand in line at another grocery store yesterday. So this is the one little piece of meat I have come home with. I love pork. I grew up around pigs, and as a matter of fact, when I was a little girl, my mom would keep her scrap bucket, and then it was my job to take the scrap bucket and throw it over the fence by the apple tree and feed the pigs. I loved that part of things. So I'm just going to grab this so that I can slip this out of here onto a paper towel where I can dry it up a little bit. I know this is maybe not the way you would do it, but I just like to get the packaged juice off of it. I know it's not packaged juice. It's just been in there sitting around for a little while, but I'm just going to dry it off before I'm going to go and lay it right down in here. And I'm going to let that sit for a few hours. And then tonight, when I'm ready to make supper, I'll take this, I'll dry it off, I'll salt, I'll pepper it, and then I'll get out one of my cast iron skillets, and I cook it on the top of the stove entirely. So what I'll do is just oil the pan very, very lightly, just enough so you don't stick. And then I set my timer on my phone, and I let it sit for 2 minutes, and then I turn it a quarter turn. And sometimes you'll have to use your tongs and hold it in place, and then you'll get a perfect sear all the way around. And then on the big end, I'll hold it up. Again, you might need 2 pairs of tongs to hold it up to get that perfect sear on the end piece. And then I'll stick the thermometer in it and see where it is. Remember, guys, trichinosis in the pork And pork doesn't exist anymore. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Martha D. Hello, Muggsy. Hello, Patty. So you don't have to cook pork to death anymore. Back when your mother would cook it to 180 degrees and you would choke on a pork chop, that is not the world we live in anymore. Trichinosis is killed at 130, 132 degrees. So if you want to eat your pork a little pink, go right ahead. The pork is pretty today. So that's all. And especially since the reports seem to say that they're killing pigs right and left. Eat a little pig, eat a little pork, save a pig. Can I actually say that? So, so there's that. I also have a big old baguette that it's a terrible thing. I didn't mean to buy a piece of bread this big, but the day that my girlfriends from high school kept me up until 4 a.m. chatting on the Zoom, and I barely got out of bed and got it together enough to make myself a salami sandwich with you guys. They didn't have the normal ciabatta that I would get across the street, which was just going to be like almost a single serving. So this did not get all used. I only made like 3 chunks of sandwich this big. So I'm going to split this. I'm going to put it in like a 200-degree oven just so that it dries out. Then I'm going to put it in my and make breadcrumbs because I don't have any breadcrumbs. So why go buy a package of breadcrumbs when I can find something to put some breadcrumbs in around here? So let's see. So tonight I'm obviously going to have a little pork. And I probably am going to I have that empty feeling that early 90s, I should weigh 120 pounds at 6 feet tall, hungry emptiness. And so I'm going to try to hold on to that feeling. And so I'm probably going to use this and I'll slice it really thin and do some toasted nuts, some goat cheese, what else? Maybe some thinly sliced Bermuda onion because I know I have one cut. I did yesterday, since I went to the grocery store, I did one of the few totally cheaty things I do, and I bought garlic expressions. It is, to me, the very best store-bought salad dressing that you can make. And maybe what I should do, since I have some roasted garlic, is I should try to make this myself. It's awfully good. You guys, I will always tell you if somebody has ever asked me to feature a product on, but let me also make it clear to you, I will never, ever open or use a product here in my kitchen that I am not going to eat myself, that I wouldn't spend money on myself. So there you go. If I love this, you know that I love this stuff. And thanks to Vicki Laurillard for turning me on to it. So I also have a little bit of, bought a little bag of broccoli slaw, and I thought that I'd warm up some of my, or loosen up some of the remaining peanut sauce and toss that together. That'd make a great little side with my cherry pork on another night if I'm going to eat it more like a main course. So let's see. Anything else going on today? Oh, yes, there's a lot going on. Hello, Liz. Hello, Cassie. So hello, Sylvia. So I'm just going to say one thing today. I'm in a really good mood today, and I'm not going to rant too hard, except to say no household cleaner belongs inside your body. Not inside your mouth, not inside your veins. Now, I have lived in New York City for 30 years. There are a lot of you who probably think that I live a pretty wild and hairy and reprobate life. But I've always lived my life by one single rule. No needles. You can play, you can have the best time of your life, no needles. So whenever somebody suggests that you should, with your own hand, inject something other than a prescribed B12 shot in your hip, don't do it. That's all, guys. That's the closest thing to a rant I'm going to get today. I can't believe I have to even say it. It is absolutely beyond comprehension I guess I'm about to rant. If any other of the 44 presidents that came before this one had suggested putting household cleaners into your veins under your own steam, he would have been rolled off to the loony bin. That's all. So guys, all right, so we've got a high anxiety day here. So what we're going to say is, what do you do to ameliorate yourself of anxiety? You get outside of yourself. Stop thinking about yourself and find somebody else to think about. Find somebody else who you can focus on, somebody else who makes you understand that there's something that you can do to make their life better, and then you'll stop thinking about yourself. I mean, why do you think I do this? It takes all day long to get ready, to get set up for this and broken down from this. I don't have the time to feel sorry for myself. I do have time, though, to think about how I can do what I can do, how I can express myself to make you guys feel better. That's the only point of this. So you guys, I love you so much. And if you ever feel anxious, there is the very, very best thing for me is I simply stop. I try to put my focus either here at my third eye or my crown chakra. And I try to, in the same way they trained us when we were singers, to think about there is a hole in the top of your head that is connected to your pulmonary system. So that when you breathe in, you're breathing in through that top of your head. And when you breathe out, it's coming in both directions. It's what I think, it's like the way that Nicholas Jolie, for my wine geeks out there, talks about biodynamism. That when you think of the world, when you think of the growing environment as a holistic whole, that then the gravity from the moon and the gravity from the Earth's core are working together to stabilize your plant and stabilize your environment. So that's how I feel about breathing and stabilizing anxiety, is that if you breathe in, especially if you can breathe in and hold your breath, it's impossible to think while you're holding your breath. Try to get a hold of a thought. You can't do it. So breathe in and breathe out. You can't be anxious if that's all you're doing. And then once you breathe out, your anxiety is lower. Do it a few times, and then find somebody else to focus on. Right? That's easy enough. So let's see who else has come. Hello. That's Denise disguised as David. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Tim. Hello, Connie. And hello, Carolyn Joe. And hello, Liz, you guys. So I thank you all. What are we going to do today? I make my niece and nephew, after we do our art class, we do 50 jumping jacks together. So that's really good for you. Get your heart rate up. I'm finding it very challenging to get my heart rate up because now we're supposed to have on the masks outside. And while you're breathing back in carbon dioxide constantly, it's exhausting. That's all I can say. So I understand how that now, I don't know if anybody's seen this report, but that the thing that's making the hospitalizations problematic with this disease is that it's blocking the alveoli, am I saying that right, in your lungs a little bit at a time, so that your body becomes accustomed to lower and lower and lower blood oxygen saturation. So that by the time you are starting to have pulmonary distress, you're already at like 60, 50%, and that has put you into crisis. So that's why I know somebody mentioned yesterday they weren't happy with my little linen mask that I was wearing. It's because that's the only thing that I figured out to not be exhausted. Yesterday, I woke up this morning, all the way across my neck, my shoulders, my back are hurting. I'm like, my gosh, what have I done to myself? How did I sleep funny? And then I remembered that yesterday I carried 2 extra large LL Bean boat and tote bags home full of groceries. And breathing all the CO2 back in the mask was about to kill me. I had to stop 5 times in like less than a half a mile. That's disgusting. So anyway, that is why, and I know that over the long term, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. But you guys walk the 20 feet from your grocery store to your car, put the groceries, or don't even. You just pull up to your grocery store, they put them in your trunk, you pull away. So this is again, not complaining. I have gotten to live in Manhattan my whole adult life, not complaining, just pointing out that there is a difference. And I am able-bodied, so I don't feel like I have the right to take up the manpower for those people who aren't able-bodied enough to go and get their own groceries. So I'm not using delivery for that reason. I'm capable. I should carry extra weight because I can, and that way freeing up the hands of those who can help those who really, really genuinely can't leave, who are immune compromised, who are elderly. So that's one of the things I'm doing. And again, it's a little selfish because I really prefer to pick up my own groceries. And who the heck, I might see something like yesterday. They had a new product at Trader Joe's I'd never seen, fig butter. I love figs. I wouldn't have known to tell anybody to buy me fig butter. So there's that. Now, is that rant enough, you guys? I love you all. I cannot smell anything except vinegar in the air. So I'm going to wash all the vinegar-lined containers. And, yep, making masks and spouting frustration on Facebook is one of the greatest ways that you can spend your time, right? In a lot of ways, I know people would fuss about how Facebook is bad for us, but writing down your frustrations, journaling. How is this not journaling, right? So writing down your frustrations is a great way to get through the day. So guys, I love you. Don't run with scissors. Take care of yourselves. Get up and do a little physical exercise. If it's 50 jumping jacks, if it's doing a plank, if it's getting into a crunch, or even just laying down on the floor and getting your body really straight. Just anything that you can do. This is our body. My body isn't accustomed to not walking all over the place all the time. So I'm having a little feeling like I want to stretch out really, really far. I need that all like to be put on a rack. That's how I feel. I'd like to be put on a rack. And I did break a fingernail yesterday, so I was forced to cut my own fingernails. I've been made very lazy over 30 years of living in New York and having a nail salon on every corner. I'm not very good at it. And I think about Vicky in Stanford, who was, until she quit, was the best nail person ever. She could make your nails look like they were just made for TV. So anyway, you guys, do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for someone else. And make some beautiful, healthy food for yourself. I almost bought Trader Joe's cheese puffs yesterday, but I put them back because I thought about how your face feels when you eat chips, so I put them back. Take care of yourself, you guys. I love everybody. Love you. Bye, bye, bye.